Hey everybody, this is Jim with Harvest Harmonics. Welcome again to the Profitable Farmer. And I wanted to start this broadcast by saying that I think in some of these broadcasts and some of these shows, I think I've overstated a little bit the benefits of Kiminasi plant booster because when I show people, when I show people results like this, just so I show people stuff like, um, you know, going through the different slides and all the different stuff, and then I start showing people some of the actual results we're seeing, how they can reduce their fertilizer, how they can improve their yield, how, for example, in this corn trial, we got a reduction of fertilizer use by 100%. They essentially didn't fertilize, right? They reduced their water usage by 50%. They increased their production by 100%. They got double the amount of corn. They increased their overall fodder, the overall biomass of the corn plants by 583%. And this is at a tier 1 university in Colombia, right? This is not just some backyard farmer. This is a tier 1 university, and this trial is actually going to, it's already in white paper and it's going to peer review as we speak. So when I show people results like this, I show people, again, reduction of fertilizer, 33% increase in yield. I show them reduction of fertilizer and better yield in grapes, better brick shredding in plums, better reduce fertilizer in flower growing, and reduce fertilizer in eggplants and still increasing their yield. I keep communicating these things and all these benefits of the Kiminasi plant booster. I think that people they start to confuse with some kind of miracle. They start to say, "Oh my God, this is a miracle. This is some kind of magic." So they just assume, I'm guessing that they don't have to do anything, right? That they can just by watching my presentations, that they will automatically see these results on their farm. Unfortunately, guys, it's not quite that easy. I wish it was. I believe me, I wish I could just snap my fingers and boom, my Kiminasi system is on your farm and you're already seeing results. And I wish you could just literally plant a seed and have Jack and the Beanstalk and have this huge bean plant growing all over the place. But this is not a fairy tale. This is not magic. What this is advanced science, which admittedly, when you look at the results, it's very easy to confuse this with some kind of miraculous result, but it is scientifically based and it is an advanced science, which is why we're seeing those amazing results. But it does require a commitment on your part. Okay, the people that are watching this, you've got your own farm and you're looking at this and you're going, God, my fertilizer cost just tripled. My input costs just increased. My pesticide costs just increased. My transportation cost is huge. My labor cost is going through the roof. I'm not making any more money. I need help now. And then they see my presentation. They go, "Oh my God, that's exactly what we need." I literally had 3 people today just tell me this is exactly what we need. This is the future of farming. And then they're saying, "Let me talk to my partner." I mean, what do you mean? Let me talk to your partner? Like, let's get this on your farm now. So this presentation really is just about if you want to see results like this on your farm, there's no shortcut. You have to give me a call. You have to send us an email. Let's work together and let's get this on your farm. It doesn't just magically appear on your farm. You do have to commit to making a purchase. And that purchase, by the way, is so ridiculously low compared to the results that we're seeing. I mean, literally, if you knew that you were going to get a 30, 40, 50, 100, 150% increase in your yield, and you're looking at an investment, I mean, there's almost no investment, too much for that. And the reality is every farmer that's using this technology is getting a return on their investment by 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, 30 times, but it does require a little bit of work. It does require a little bit on your part. If you want to see results like this, you can't just sit in your armchair and complain about the government or complain about fertilizer costs or complain about what's happening in Ukraine. You can't complain about these things. That doesn't do you any good. I wish it did. I wish you could have that luxury of just sitting there on social media and typing up how much Biden sucks or how much Putin sucks or how much whatever it is. But the reality is those kinds of complaints are not going to change your situation, and neither is continuing to do the same thing you've always been doing. If you've been putting fertilizer on every day and you've been doing the same routine of same fertilizer, same pesticides, same everything else, you're going to get the same result. Except now with the cost of fertilizer tripling and the cost of all your other inputs increasing and the cost of your goods not necessarily being commensurate with that, then what are you looking at? I mean, you're looking at losing money. So you keep doing things the same way and keep getting the same result if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, you're going to start losing money because the cost of inputs is skyrocketing. And if you don't do something different, you're going to be left behind. And the guys who are jumping on board with this are taking advantage of our system. They're the guys who are going to be prepared. They're the guys who are going to survive. They're the guys who are going to do better, not only now when the price of fertilizer is high, but when everything kind of returns to normal, they're going to be in a position to take market share and really have an advantage over everybody else. So again, guys, I don't mean to be a little bit rude here, but at the same time, it's like, look, if you want a different result, you have to do something different. And the Kiminasi plant booster is the easiest, most cost-effective way to improve your situation, improve the farm, and get better results than anything else you've tried. Our entire system is designed to do one thing, and that is make your farm and make the plants more efficient. When you can make the plants more efficient, then you don't need tons and tons of fertilizer. You don't need tons of water. You don't need tons of pesticides and other chemicals. You don't need all that stuff. And the only reason you need all that stuff is because the last 60 or 70 years, the agricultural practices that we've been using have created a problem. And that problem is inefficient plants, inefficient soil, and a wide variety of other problems. So to do something different or to get a better result, you need to do something different. And the Kiminasi plant booster is the easiest way to go about improving your situation because as many of you guys know who've complained about the ability to go organic or the ability to become more sustainable, you guys are looking at, well, how do we actually go from point A to point B? And in a lot of cases, that transition is a very difficult transition to make if you don't have advanced technology. But with our technology, you're able to incorporate a lot of these things without having to dramatically change the entirety of your farm right away. But what you'll notice is you don't have to use as much pesticide, you don't have to use as much fertilizer. You can do much better with less if you just make your plants more efficient. Now, I'm going to give you a few examples and a few reasons why our system works so well and why we're seeing the results that we do see. The Kiminasi plant booster, one of the key things that it does is improve the CEC or cation ion exchange capacity of the soil. Now, if you don't know what that is, that's basically a standard measurement of how healthy your soil is. That's a measurement of how many, what they call cat ions, which are positively charged ions, are in the soil. If you have a lot of positively charged ions in the soil, and that comes from things like potassium and sodium and calcium and magnesium and these positively charged ions, if your soil has a lot of these elements in it, then it will be equipped to retain a lot of the what they call anions or negatively charged ions. Now, anions, a good example of that is phosphate and nitrogen. So those are the two key areas, the two key negatively charged ions that plants need to grow and survive. So what do we do when we don't have enough cat ions or positively charged ions in the soil? Well, the typical response is to just dump a lot of fertilizer on your soil, like dump a lot of urea, a lot of ammonium, a lot of this nitrogen in your soil. And just by overloading your soil with nitrogen, your plants are eventually going to get enough to what they need. Now, here's the big problem with that. Number one, if you haven't paid attention to the news lately, and I guarantee you every farmer already knows this, the cost of nitrogen just skyrocketed. So the cost of your urea and your ammonia just tripled. So now because of all this extra nitrogen that you're using, you're basically not able to, your cost just went through the roof. Now what are you going to do? The second key problem with adding too much nitrogen in the soil is you're actually causing environmental damage because that nitrogen doesn't just sit in the soil. If you have calcium or other positively charged ions, they don't tend to move through too much of the soil. But with nitrogen, as soon as you start watering or as soon as it starts raining, that nitrogen leaches out of the soil or it'll start to evaporate back into the atmosphere. And that means that most of the nitrogen you're using is not actually being absorbed by the plants. Okay. And the other factor that this creates a problem is when you use too much nitrogen, especially salt-driven fertilizers, like what most common fertilizers are, it increases the sodium content and the electrical conductivity of your soil when you use too much of these nutrients, use too much of these man-made chemical nutrients. And that reduces microbial activity in the soil. And that means that the soil becomes less and less able to retain the nutrients that you're trying to get to your plants. And that means that the plants are having to struggle to get the nutrients they need, even though you're adding all this nitrogen fertilizer. So what our system helps to do is increase the CEC factor, the positive ion exchange capacity of the soil, so that you don't have to use as much nitrogen because more of it will stay in the root zone for longer periods of time. Now, here's an example of a trial that we did. When we started this particular trial on tomatoes, the CEC of the soil was 18.3. That was pretty good here. This farmer is an organic farmer. He's got a lot of cations in his soil, a lot of organic matter in his soil. He's got pretty good soil. He's taken care of it over the last 20 years, and he's done a really good job. But after running this 6-week trial, an interesting thing happened. the CEC rating of the Kiminasi soil, the test soil that he was using, increased the CEC to 21.9. So we increased his CEC. Now, normally in the course of a season, as you can imagine, plants will absorb these various minerals and these various nutrients, and the CEC will go down slightly. In fact, the control group in this particular trial went down to 13.3. And it will fluctuate back and forth depending on your fertilization and other practices. So the Kiminasi field increased while the other field decreased. And what does that mean? That means that as you're continually growing crops on the same field, you'll have a tendency to exhaust that field. Now, it's not just a matter of the available nutrients in the soil, it also has to do with soil structure and the breathability, the permeability and breathability, and the water retention characteristics. And that's why what we've been saying on our trials here, the Kiminasi plant booster will improve water retention characteristics. And part of that is because of microbial activity in the soil is helping to break apart the soil and make it more arable. And the second side is the improvement in CEC ratings of the soil is actually holding on to more of that organic matter. And that's going to make your soil more fertile over time. That's why we tell people, look, you can reduce your fertilizer use by 30%. You can reduce it by 50%. You might even be able to reduce it by 100%. It really depends on your soil type. The other key benefit that we've said on our show multiple times is the improvement in reduction of water use. Now, in areas where like California, where there's a drought situation still ongoing, I'm hearing that it's not probably going to be as bad this year as it's been the last couple of years, but it's still not a solved situation. So we're actually seeing numerous examples where farmers are using quite a bit less water in their soil as well. So, almond growers that are using 65% less water here. And better water infiltration, faster water infiltration rate into the ground. Now that will reduce your amount of water use when you can reduce your irrigation cycles from 10, 12, 15 hours down to 8, 9 hours at a time. Now, this particular example was a walnut grower, and here you can see a lot of salt damage that was causing these trees to become very, very unhealthy. Now, with Kiminasi, you can see we brought these canopies back to life, and these trees started to really look healthy again. And the farmer, of course, used 46% less water, right? And let me take care of that overlay, this little overlay here. So that. Have these little overlays, sorry. Anyway, I'm not going to mess with it. So anyway, we also got an increase in yield. So it's not just a matter of reducing water usage, we're increasing yield as well. Here's another example of a grape farm which saw a 75% increase in yield versus control and 30% less water use. And that wasn't because they wanted to use less water, they just didn't have the irrigation water available to it. So this is a huge, huge example. I'm going to actually play this video for you and see if it'll play here and just show you what the farmer was saying as he walked the fields here. This is in Spanish, so you got to pay attention. So it's got the treated versus untreated field. What he's actually saying is, what he's actually saying here, let me stop this here. He's actually saying, sorry, what he's actually saying is the field that we had here, we have 30% less water. Now, he actually produced 75% more grapes than the neighboring fields here. But even with the less water, with 30% less water, the treated Kiminasi field here produced 52.5% more grapes than the previous year's yield. So the previous year, they had 30% more water available on this field, and they still produced 50% more than they did in the previous year. Now that's pretty amazing. You can actually get more production with less yield, with less inputs. Now, In addition to the fertilizer usage, again, let me go back here just to show you some differences here in reduction of fertilizer use. So we're making these plants more efficient. Again, this trial I mentioned, zero fertilizer use. This case study, zero fertilizer use. This particular grower, zero fertilizer use. This grower, 67% less fertilizer use. This grower, 50% less fertilizer use on these flowers. So, and less fertilizer use here, I'm not sure exactly. You didn't keep good track, but just to give you an idea, guys, I mean, our systems are making the plants super, super efficient. So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to be, stuck in this situation, if you guys want to feel like there's no hope or there's nothing you can do, then keep doing things the same way. I mean, it's up to you. I'm not here to force anybody to do something they don't want to do. But at the end of the day, I've done everything I can do to help farmers to have completely taken the risk out of the way. We back everything up with 100% money back guarantee. We guarantee you're going to see results with this. And we haven't had a single farmer ever take us up on our offer because our system always works. It's always produced excellent results. And at the end of the day, all we need is you. I mean, I don't care if you want to do your whole farm and take advantage of this, really get better results this year. By all means, give me a call. I'm happy to work with you and set up your whole farm with Luminosity. If you're more interested in just testing it out and kind of dipping your toe in, making sure that it's going to produce these results on your farm the way it's showing on all these other farms, then start off with a starter kit. We have kits that can handle an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres, all the way up to your entire farm. So if you guys really want to see results, you need to take advantage of this opportunity. That's all I can do. I can offer and extend an opportunity to you. It's up to you to take advantage of it or not. If you want to see improvements on your farm, then purchase one of our starter kits, purchase one of our larger kits, and see the results for yourself. If you're not interested in changing, find another video. I'm sure there's lots of cat videos or other things for you guys to watch. And of course, you can entertain yourself that way. But anyway, I just want to get to some questions here. I see some questions here in the stream, so let me take a chance to look at that. Let me answer some questions here. So go back to the front here. Stay informed, stay informed. Thank you, Kevin. An urban farmer asks, is it affordable for small farmers? Yes, I found it to be very affordable. Obviously, I mean, if you're losing money now, then you're losing money. There's nothing you can do. You need to do something different, right? Our system is very affordable. In fact, most farmers are reporting, like I said before, 10 to 20 times return on investment. And the larger farmers, they're obviously making quite a bit of money. I mean, I have grape farmers that are making or cherry farmers that are making $47,000 a hectare. That's about $18,000 to $20,000 in U.S. Per acre. So imagine if you can invest, $1,000 or a couple $1,000, not even $1,000. I think it's a lot less than that, like half it, like 500 or something like that. But imagine investing 500 on a specialty crop like that and getting a $20,000 return. That's basically 40x return on your investment. And grape growers, again, for that same $500-600 an acre, something around that region. I mean, you're talking, and this is a 2-year product, by the way. I'm talking about the returns in a single year. So really, if you doubled that, you took out a $47,000 increased profit, and then you doubled that. So you made 96,000. And now you take, okay, what's the actual cost per hectare? I think it was like $1,500 per hectare for that particular farm. So an investment of $1,500 netted you 95,000. How many people would not trade $1,500 for 96,000? Not that many. I mean, if you're not willing to do that, then either you don't believe what I'm telling you, or you're just not. I don't know what else. I don't want to insult anybody, but you can't fix that. I mean, I can't just hand you money. You have to work out your own situation. But the simple answer to your question is the economics always work out. Even on specialty crops like corn and soybeans, rice, wheat. I mean, those guys, we have a different price structure for the commodity guys. But even those guys are making 2-3 times their investment back in the first year. So when I say I'm going to give you your money back if you don't see results, the reason I put that out there is because I already know nobody's going to take me up on it. If I know that, I sell 1,000 of these devices, the next 2 or 3 days, and one person comes back to me and says, "Hey, I didn't see results." Okay, fine. I'm happy to give that one guy his results back, and I'm happy to help the other 999. To date, after 650, 700 farms, something like that, nobody's ever asked for their money back. So I think we're doing pretty good with our system. So um, Robert asks, is that because of the CEC improvement? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you talking about the reduction in fertilizer? If that's the question, yes, that's one of the biggest differences there. One of the biggest reasons why we see reduction in fertilizer usage is because the key component of the microbial activity in the soil. You know, a good soil will have a healthy, vibrant microbial population. In other words, cyanobacteria, the mycorrhizae in the soil, and various other soil-borne microbes are actually helping to break apart and convert, like atmospheric nitrogen, for example, which is a molecule N2 for two nitrogen molecules. Plants can't absorb that directly through the leaves. They can absorb, you know, nitrogen oxide or nitrates or things that are chemically different than chemical nitrogen you see in the air. So that microbial activity in the soil will actually help break down a lot of that nitrogen. It will also help break down a lot of the other minerals like calcium, phosphorus, potassium, and these other things that are in the soil, even carbon, that plants need as well. So the improvement in CEC is really more of a function of improving the microbial activity in the soil and, of course, the organic matter. So what we see there is as those microbes wake up again and they begin to convert these different minerals into usable forms for the plants, it also has the side benefit of improving the CEC of the soil as well. So very good question. Thank you so much. Sina says, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Hope to hear from you soon. Hope we can work together. Halene asked, does this work in mushrooms? You know, that's a pretty good question. We actually have a farmer that I think is going to test this on mushrooms here very shortly. I personally don't know if it's going to work on mushrooms, only because mushrooms are not really plants. Mushrooms are fungi, right? They're a type of fungus. And so funguses don't necessarily rely on photosynthesis for their energy production. They're more of like a parasite type of a thing. So I'm not sure. Our system is designed to work with plants and specifically to enhance photosynthesis in plants. So if you have something like mushrooms, which are not really photosynthesis based, then you can't really make any promises. So if you'd like to test this out, of course, you're free to do so. But I don't really make any promises over non-plants. Our system's not designed to work with those. They may work in mushrooms, they may not. I guess you have to try it out. Gregory Brown says, what is the cost for a starter kit? Our starter kits start at $1,000 US. Again, all of our systems last for 2 years. And the starter kits can handle anything up to from literally garden size all the way up to, actually, the most I've ever seen is about 10 acres, but most of the time, depending on your irrigation system, a starter kit can cover up to about 5 acres. So it really just depends on your irrigation system, but we have a set starter kit that allows you to try at least 2 or 3 acres usually, and you'll get a good return and a good result on that. You'll be able to tell if this is something that'll work for you and your farm. So happy to work with you guys. So I think that's all the questions we have here, guys. That's all I'm seeing anyway. But guys, in a nutshell, here's my offer to you. Okay, it's getting toward the end of April here, and I want to help as many people as possible. I want to help as many farmers around the world as possible. So I'm going to put this out there. Those of you guys who are watching live, and those of you guys who watch this in the next couple of days. Today is April 26th. I'm going to actually take 10% off anybody that orders in the next few days, which is before May. And that 10%, I'm just going to cut my commission out of this. I don't care. I would rather see farmers using this technology and winning. So if you order now, April 26th, all the way through the 1st of May, which is Friday, actually end of day Friday, then we'll be able to take 10% off your first order. Whether you want a starter kit and just start with that starter kit, or if you have a bigger farm, you say, heck, I want to try it on 50 acres. I want to try it on 100 acres. I want to try it on 1,000 acres. You know, whatever you decide to purchase, I'm willing to take 10% off your first order, as long as you order by May 1st here. I know it's only a few days, but I really want to reward people that take action. I want to help as many people as I can. And at the end of the day, the situation in farming is not good. Okay, the cost of fertilizer just skyrocketed. As I mentioned yesterday in our regular Facebook show, a number of packing plants have caught fire. I mean, I think there's like 25 packing plants in the last 6 months have all caught fire or had planes crash into them or had major disasters. So I'm not sure if that's related to the whole there's going to be food shortages comment by President Biden a month ago, or if it's just some kind of coincidence. But at the end of the day, I think I want to work with farmers. I want to work with you guys. I want to help you guys grow the healthiest, best quality, and best cost-effective and most profitable crops you can. So for those of you guys who are interested, who want to try this, who want to see and really want to do something to benefit their farms and everybody who's going to eat the food that they're producing, let's give me a call here. You see my email address here at service@harvestharmonics.com. Now, let me put my phone number up here just so you guys can see it there. You can give us a call after this broadcast. We'd be happy to work with you in the next few days to get you set up with the system and give you a good deal on it as well. And if you're watching this and it happens to be after May, like if you watch a replay of this and you're saying, oh, I missed out, just give us a call anyway. Let's work together. We'll figure out some kind of solution for you so that you can get started. At the end of the day, and your company currently hiring bachelor degree graduates? Ooh, I'm a biochemistry major at the University of Kansas and just working for the company. Kate, I love it. I love the fact that that you're looking to be on board. Yes, we are hiring. We are looking for certain candidates. So I would say give us a call at that number here, 324-6750. You can ask for Amanda. I'm sure she's our chief operating officer and deputy CEO, and she's be able to direct you to the right people to submit an application. We would love to work with like-minded individuals, so that'd be great. And another question here from Robert: can livestock fish consume this water or should be kept separate from them? Our system is based upon frequencies. Now, those frequencies are designed to improve specifically plant biology. So I get this question a lot for people: hey, can humans drink this? Yes, you can drink the Cheminosity plant booster water. It's not going to affect you because your physiology is tuned to different frequencies than the plants are. Same thing with fish or livestock. You know, their frequencies of their biological systems are tuned to different frequency settings than humans are, right? They have different, livestock have different heartbeats, have different metabolism, etc. Same thing with fish. So our system will not affect fish or livestock positively or negatively. It just won't affect them. But if you're concerned about that, it's not really an issue. So we're happy to work with you. But that's really all the time we got for today, guys. I really appreciate you being on the show today. I hope most of you guys watching the show will jump on board and take advantage of this opportunity, not just for the 10% off, but also really take advantage of this opportunity to utilize this advanced technology on your farm, because the amount of money you're going to make by more yield and fertilizer savings is going to far exceed that 10%. I mean, you're probably going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars more, depending on obviously how much you start with. But you could make thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars more in your operation with Cheminosity Plant Booster. And I want to see it. I want to have you guys on this slideshow as my next batch of results here of you guys who jumped on board, took advantage of this, and saw amazing results that you're seeing on these case studies here. So that's my little cue here, my little elf telling me it's time to go. But I appreciate all of your time. Give us a call here, and let's work together to make you part of the future of farming today. Have a good day, guys.